Hi everyone, it's Sam from Electric Bikes Brisbane, and in this video we're going to cover one of our most frequently asked questions, which is, can you ride your e-bike in the rain? We've had a huge amount of rain here in southeast Queensland for the last 6 months or so, and flooding events too, so it's a very relevant question, both from just can you ride in the rain, but also what happens if your bike does end up sitting in floodwaters. We're going to cover off what you can do and what you shouldn't do. We're going to take a look at a water crossing, and there's a couple of do's and don'ts as far as water crossings go as well. And of course, after you've been out in the rain, and particularly if you've gotten muddy, there's some recommended practices for what you do once you've come in out of the rain, and just to make sure that your bike's good to get going the next time you go riding. Okay, so the big question, can you ride your e-bike in the rain? The short answer to that is yes, particularly if you're riding an e-bike which has IP ratings, so Bosch, Shimano, Fazua, any of the globally manufactured e-bike systems should have IP ratings, but you can go and check those if you like. Bosch is IPX5. What that means is that it's rated for water and dust ingress, so the motor is waterproof, the batteries are waterproof, the displays are waterproof, and they're waterproof for splashing, light hosing. But what they're not waterproof for is being submerged, and that is your number one big don't. If you're out riding, and sometimes, let's face it, particularly with all the rain that we've had, you could come across a creek crossing or a street which has got water over it. There's just a couple of things that you should watch out for. So you might be out riding and say, for example, that is a creek crossing. Most of the time this creek crossing is dry. In this particular situation, there's water running over the road that you're going to have to ride through. So yes, I have bought shoes in preparation for what I'm about to do, but you may not always be in that position. So excuse my pink Crocs. There's a couple of things I think about before I even get into that creek crossing. So my tyre pressures and what tyres I'm riding. So I'm riding quite wide street-oriented tyres, so not off-road tyres, which actually could be in my favour in this case because it's a very smooth bottom on this surface. If I'm a little bit worried about just how slippery that is, I'm just going to take a little bit of air pressure out. But tyres are a very critical part of adventure riding, so they're a whole topic on its own, but tyre choice for any adventurous sort of riding is something that we can help you out with. First and foremost, it's just common sense. Just make sure that it's actually safe to ride through. Fast flowing water is never a good thing. I'm going to stop, get off the bike. If it's not too deep, I'm going to walk it first. Make sure, firstly, the surface is not too slippery because that is dangerous too. See if I need to take any pressure out of my tyres, and make sure that it's not too deep, that it's not a safe crossing. Just gauge how fast that water is flowing and whether or not I really even want to go through this water, because really it's not something to be taken lightly. You definitely do not want to go through anything that is going to cause you to fall or to lose your bike. It's very, very dangerous. So I've just checked out this creek crossing. It's good to go. It's not too deep. Number one thing, check your exit. You've got to come out of it. Once you come out of the creek, you need to still be able to keep going. So in this case, I've got a very steep climb coming out of it. So I'm going to set my gears, and I'll change my power level once I come out of the creek crossing, because actually going through the creek, I don't want to be touching too much at all. Just pedaling. I'm going to be pedaling consistently. I'm not touching brakes, not changing gears, just going through minimal inputs, so the bike just stays nice and steady and we track through that creek nice and easily. Just a little tip, if you don't want to get your feet wet, because sometimes, and it's a good benchmark actually, if you're going through water that is so deep that you're getting your feet wet, it's probably a good thing to not go through it. But if you're wearing shoes that you don't really want to get wet and you're worried about getting them splashed, there is a technique that you can just seesaw your pedals on the way through it, but you want to do that nice and gently if that bottom is very, very slippery. And you don't have to ride it either. Just remember, who cares about a pair of shoes? If you come up to something which you're not comfortable with, just walk your bike through it. It's way better to have a pair of wet shoes than to have your bike go down or to hurt yourself. The one very big don't with e-bikes is around submerging the motors and the batteries. So these motors and batteries, they're rated for, they're splash proof, they're water resistant, but they're not designed to sit in water for any period of time. We've had instances, we've been flooded. We got flooded in 2022 in the shop, and a lot of our customers got flooded also. Most of our customers' bikes worked afterwards, drying them out, cleaning them, that they worked fine. But why you don't want to submerge those bikes for too long is because water will get in there and it will potentially rust things out. So it's not a good long-term solution for your e-bike if it does get submerged. Okay, so now I've been through the creek crossing. I've had a very adventurous ride. It's really key that when you get home, you let your bike dry out. So I always wipe my bike down just with a nice dry cloth, take the battery out, wiping through where the battery is seated just to dry off those terminals. And then rather than sticking it straight on charge, I'm just going to let my bike dry overnight, put it all back together tomorrow and put it back on charge, just to try and keep it as dry as possible. And that's mainly to stop rust. Now this particular bike has a belt drive, and particularly if I've gotten very, very muddy, it's kind of key to just clean all that mud out. You don't want mud getting into any of the moving parts of your bike. So I just get a brush and a cloth is all you need to clean your belt. But it will go a long way towards maintaining the longevity of that great drivetrain that you've got. So to wrap it up, can you ride your e-bike in the rain? Yes, you can. There are a few do's and don'ts which we've covered, and we've also looked at some techniques for going through water if you need to, and also just a couple of things to do to keep your bike running nicely, just to make sure it's ready to go out for the next time. So all the bikes that we sell have good IP ratings, so you have absolutely no problems going out in the rain. If you need any help in terms of tyre selection, depending on the riding that you're doing, and how to clean your bike and the cleaning products, please don't hesitate to reach out to us either.